Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to check fresh release from ICM. That's a model which is modeled in 1/35 scale as it's written here, and it copies World War II British truck. It's model W.O.T.6. That's a new tooled plastic, completely new tooled, and this is the first version. Obviously we'll have more in this during this year, but this is the first version with open rear section, and it should be quite an interesting build for those who would like to build British diorama in 1/35 scale. So as you can see, packaging is quite nice. We have this interesting box art on the front. It is simple, but it's still attractive. Here you can see comparison with my hand, and I would say it's typical size of the 1/35 scale box for ICM. Here you can see some information about the kit. So in total there are 267 parts, 5-foot edged parts surprisingly, and also length of the assembled vehicle will be 180 millimeters, which is not that small vehicle, I would say. On the other side we have one of the marking options that's actually the same as the one we can see on the box art. Just to remind you, here it is. So let's open it and check what is hidden inside. So box structure is typical for ICM. We have this flexible color printed top board and sturdy white cardboard box which should protect everything inside. Here is what we have inside. So as you can see, there is plenty of space inside. So I hope that all parts will arrive to you intact. All frames are packed into the same plastic bag, and on the bottom we have assembly manual with decals inside, but we will check it a bit later. First I would like to start with plastic parts. So just give me a second. Let's open it and check those frames closer. We are going to start with the biggest one, so here it is. Let's zoom in a bit. Just a small reminder, don't forget to switch to 4K resolution on YouTube so that you can see all those parts in detail. And this sprue is dedicated to mainly minor parts, I would say. So we have some suspension elements, transmission, engine, even the leaf springs are here, steering wheel, some of the structure elements, and molding quality is really great. We can zoom in even more so that you can see them in detail. So here they are. That's one of the corners. Let's move on. We have separate doors, by the way, and then here we have some of the interior parts as well as suspension parts. Engine, of course, should be glued out of two hulls. Here we have the leaf springs, various tubings, control sticks. Everything looks good. So let's move on. I would like to see the next plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to the rear section. So here you can see it. Let's zoom out a bit. And here we have big one-piece panels as well as this one-piece mainframe. Note that here we have only one part, so I can guess that another one will be somewhere on the next sprue. Nevertheless, it's cool to see that here we don't have any wooden texture, so you will be free to copy it with your own hands. And of course, paint weathering will help as well. Here we have exhaust, Pioneer tools, that's a shovel, and also here we have another exhaust. And now let's zoom in so that you can see those parts closer. Here they are. And again, molding quality seems to be fine. Attachment points are thin enough in order to carefully separate the part without damaging it. And let's flip it over. Here on the other side we have some installation points, as you can see here, which will help you with alignment. Nevertheless, we will have to check the assembly manual in order to understand how they will be used during the build. Next, we have two absolutely identical plastic sprues. Here they are. Let's zoom out. So they carry absolutely the same set of parts. I will show you only one because there is no point in showing the same thing over and over again. Here we have parts for the tent. As you can see, these frames, they are quite thin, so be careful with them because it will be, for sure, it will be easy to break them. Here we also have some long lines. I'm not sure what they are for. I guess they're also for the tent over the rear section. Fuel can parts, also the driver's seats, fuel tanks, and also the special holder frames for the fuel cans on this truck. Again, molding quality is really impressive, so the only thing required from you is to be careful with all those thin parts, because it will be difficult to repair them once they will be broken on your model. Next we have another plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to the cab parts, to the front cab. As you can see, it should be glued out of separate panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are the panels for the front and rear section of the cargo bay, let's say. You can also see the main frame part, another one molded is here. Of course, we have transparent elements separately, so you can see here the cutouts, let's say. Let's zoom in. And now you should be able to see all those parts closer. Again, attachment points are thin enough in order to be able to separate the parts without damaging them. Here, of course, you will have to cut off these pins so that they won't be on the final vehicle. And overall molding quality seems to be fine. Inside I don't see anything interesting, I would say, but that's not bad. And next we have two plastic sprues, again absolutely identical, as you can see here. These are dedicated to wheels, actually to wheel rims. So as you can see, they should be glued out of separate parts. Be careful with this, don't forget to use all necessary elements. Surprisingly, we have the vinyl tires here, so you will have to deal with them. Just give me a second, I'll open it and we'll check at least one of these tires closer. Of course, we don't have any external detailing on the tire walls. As you can see, they're plain and there are no writings. Here you can see the tire pattern. It looks quite good, and of course you will be weathering these wheels, so they should look fine. That's a vinyl parts, just to prove it. Here you can see they're flexible. And of course they are attached on one attachment point, as you can see here. Next we have clear plastic sprue. This one is packed into separate plastic bag in order to avoid possible scratches. Of course masks are not included, but I think there will be some aftermarket sets for this. And just give me a second, I'll separate it of the plastic bag. Here you can see it. So as I said, molding quality looks great. The only thing you'll need is mask sheet, because otherwise it will be really tricky to paint those parts. And last but not the least, and also quite surprising bonus, is a small plastic bag with PE thread. As you can see, PE thread is not protected with any cardboard, but at least it was lying on the bottom of the plastic bag, so it's really not that probable that it will be bent. But as you can see, it is unpainted. I'll bring it closer so that you can see it. Here it is. And here we have all necessary parts for external detailing. That's really surprising, because as you remember, ICM kits usually do not include any PE parts, but here we have them, so they might come handy for even better result. Next we have assembly manual. Here it is, printed in form of this typical ICM brochure with short history note on the first page. It's written in Russian and English, paint chart. And next we have parts map, and also here we have traditionally the decals sheet. So just give me a second. Here it is. Here we have all necessary symbols for several marking options. Really nice printing quality. We also have some decals for the dials on the dashboard, but that's pretty much all. And I'm not sure where these are printed, but they look quite good. Okay, so as for the assembly manual, as I said, we have parts map. Note that here we don't have any mention of which parts won't be used. So we can say that all of them will be used. Of course, we start with the chassis. As you can see, it will be assembled out of separate parts, so be careful with it. Then we continue with the engine. Engine installed on the main frame, exhaust. And next we have the transmission with separate axles. Here we have these long rods which will be connected to the main gearbox, the fuel tank, road wheels. As you can see, they're glued out of separate parts, as I said before, so don't forget about it. Now we installed them on the axles, but of course you won't be doing it straight away. Then we start assembly of the front cap, and we glue the, let's say, floor of it. We install the frontal grille, connect various pipings to this radiator grille. Then we continue with sidewalls of the bonnet. We assemble the driver's seat and also install some of the interior parts. Then we install the frontal panel and side panels for this front cap. As you can see here, we also assembled the steering wheel. We continue with side doors, rear wall, and of course the roof with separate hatches, remember. Those PE meshes will be used for the front grille on the vehicle. You will have to bend them somehow because they were bent on the rear vehicle. Here we continue with rear section of this truck. We also assemble the fuel cans. As you can see, those cages will have to be joined together in order to have the storage unit for fuel cans. Then we install all those parts under the rear section. Here we have the mud guards for the wheels, and then all this stuff is glued onto the truck. Then we continue with front headlamps, some minor elements like pioneer tools and handles, side mirrors, and then we install all those frames for the tent on the rear section. So be careful with those thin parts, as you remember. But in total you have to perform 103 steps in order to have this vehicle looking like this. So here we have the marking guide. First marking option, copy this vehicle from France, summer 1944. Next one is from Germany, May 1945. And also another two, copy truck from Great Britain, summer 1945. And this one is from Malaya, summer 1945. Now, of course, all of them are green, as you can see, so it will be just a matter of your personal taste which one you would like to copy. And that's pretty much all for this video review. As you can see, we have quite nice fresh tooled release from ICM. It should be already available for sale, for example in Modelimex. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion about such kit. Write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, and also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you won't miss any new video reviews. And you can also help us financially by pressing the donate button on our website and choosing how much you would like to send us on our PayPal account. Thank you for watching once again. I will see you in the next video review as usual. Bye.